Today we're going to be talking about the 10 worst things about living in Colorado. Now, Colorado is obviously a desirable place to live. Since 2000, over 1.5 million people have moved to Colorado, and 1 million people have moved to the Denver metro area alone. So people are moving here for what? The 300 plus days of sunshine, the access to the mountains. We have great sports teams and it's an active lifestyle, a great place to live. But it's not all unicorns and rainbows. I'm Courtney Murphy, Denver Metro Realtor, and today I'm going to be telling you the top 10 worst things about living in Colorado. Number 1, cost of living. Now, the Denver-Boulder area has the highest home prices out of all non-coastal markets in the United States. Housing is really what makes cost of living high here. To be honest with you, our local and state taxes are about average as others in the nation. Same with grocery prices, and utilities and healthcare is actually lower than the national average. So it's home prices making cost of living high here. So the one tip that I can give you is, if you are moving to Colorado, the number one thing that you can do to make sure that this is an affordable place for you to be is to find a home within your budget. Number 2 is crime and drug use. Colorado doesn't do too well in this area. In fact, the FBI rated Colorado number 3 for property crime and number 8 for violent crime. It ranked first in auto theft.
How do you feel about crime in the Denver area?
This week, 3 of my friends' cars got stolen, or this month.
Really?
So as far as like cars, like
yeah, I feel like it's all car robberies, car break-ins.
Doing the car thieving, they're crushing it. Like, I don't know what their technique is, but they're like quick with the hot wire, and just like my van got stolen about a year ago.
Really?
I was house sitting,
Yeah,
and
my
just
roommate's
like
car got stolen.
yeah.
And 5th in drug use. Number 3 is traffic and bad drivers. I hear this complaint all the time. You know, with all the population growth that we've had, the roads are just not in place to support it. And, you know, I think people get to work a lot faster here in Colorado than like maybe places like Los Angeles or San Francisco or New York. But I've worked with a lot of people that have moved to Colorado from these places, and the one thing that they say is, yeah, their commute doesn't take as long, but people are jerks. I hear it all the time driving wise, like people, you know, following too close, not being courteous. And also I think that Colorado has been such a melting pot that it's brought together drivers from all different parts of the country, where some are more aggressive, some are slower. You know, the slow people that are staying in the fast lane. Yeah, I hear that complaint a lot. So there are some frustrated drivers in the Denver area, but I gotta say it also affects the state as a whole. You'll notice if you're driving up to the mountains, you may be sitting in traffic. You're driving out in the middle of nowhere without a city. You're not expecting to you know, be in backed up traffic, but that can certainly be the case whether you're going into the mountains or coming back to the city from the mountains. The traffic can get pretty bad. Number 4 is unfriendly people. Now, maybe it depends on what part of the country you're coming from. You know, I know that they say the South, you know, they have their manners, they're very sweet. Everybody I've met from Texas is very nice. You know, East Coast, a little bit maybe harsher in their words and attitudes, but I have heard more and more people just saying that people in Colorado are flat out rude. You know, I got a lot of great friends here and people who seem friendly, but maybe people are just angry because of all the traffic. I don't know. Number 5, high altitude. Colorado is ranked the highest altitude state in the nation. And you know, people come here, you have less oxygen, people get altitude sicknesses, but the thing is if you live here and stay here, you're gonna get acclimated, right? But there are a couple things about a high altitude to keep in mind. First of all, studies have shown that high altitude, depression and anxiety is higher in high altitude states. I don't know what this is. Maybe it's the lack of oxygen because of that. I don't know, but either way, causes depression and also higher suicide rates. So Colorado ranks 5th in the nation for suicide rate. So despite all that sunshine we're getting, that high altitude can cause some mental illness. Number 6 is crowded outdoor spaces. So when you imagine going up to the mountains and going on a hike, maybe do some camping, you probably imagine it's serene and peaceful and certainly not crowded. Well, I have to say that over the years, a lot of the popular mountain places have gotten extremely crowded. I moved to Colorado in '79. I was like 5 years old. But I remember going to the mountains when I was a kid, and sometimes you'd hardly see anybody. Now it's crowded. So I know even some popular places, Hanging Lake, very popular hike in Colorado. Now you have to make reservations to do that hike. You can't just drive up, park your car, and hike up the mountain. And like I said, the traffic to and from the mountains, it's gotten pretty bad. So keep that in mind, crowded outdoor spaces. Number 7 is wildfires. Colorado is a high-risk state for wildfires. It's pretty dry here. We got plenty of trees and brush to catch on fire. And in fact, Colorado has about 2,500 wildfires every single year, and about 60% of them are started by human activity. I remember so many large fires over the years, those sad fires that just wipe out entire communities. In fact, I've had an experience myself, over a little over a decade ago, my son and I were at home and saw flames coming up from the gulch. Look, there's fire coming up right here. Oh, it's cool. Firefighters out there fanning the flames or trying to put out the flames. So yeah, that's fun. So if you're planning to move to Colorado, keep that in mind. Number 8 is changing weather. There is a saying in Colorado that goes like this: if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. It'll change. Now, this isn't necessarily a major negative, but it's something that you need to get used to living here, because the plans that you had for the day may change very quickly. The weatherman isn't always right. In fact, a lot of times they're wrong, and you can get surprised by a storm in the middle of a summer afternoon. And of course, be sure if you're up in the mountains to plan accordingly, because you may think it's going to be a sunny day and a storm can hit you at any moment. Number 9 is water scarcity. Colorado's been in a bit of a drought over the last couple decades, and the Colorado River Basin has lost over 10 trillion gallons of water since 2000. And with the increase in population, that's just a bad combination, and it's left politicians and city officials and wondering, how to balance the population with water concerns. A lot of cities are putting restrictions on how much grass you can have and when you can water and whatnot. So another thing to keep in mind if you're moving to Colorado. Number 10 is potential shortage of electricity. Now, a lot of people actually don't know about this, but the state of Colorado is shutting down all coal power plants in the state of Colorado by the year 2030. You can check online. They are scheduled to close. Now, this is our single largest source of electricity in Colorado. It supplies 41% of our electricity. And it doesn't seem like there's a lot of great plans for its replacement. And couple that with the fact that Colorado is also trying to push for more electric vehicles. They have a mandate in place that dealerships, 82% of their cars on the lots need to be EV vehicles by 2032. So pushing more towards electric vehicles, but at the same time cutting our electricity sources can cause a lot of problems. So my suggestion for most Colorado residents is maybe looking into some solar and including maybe even some batteries with your solar power over the next 7 years or so to just be prepared to make sure that you have enough electricity in your home. I'm Courtney Murphy, Denver Metro Realtor, and this was the top 10 worst things about living in Colorado. If you've made it through this video and you still want to move here, I'd love to help you find a home. So definitely give me a call. Let's see if we're a good fit to work together. And yeah, I'd love to go out and find that right home for you. And of course, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel where we're posting market updates, educational videos, some fun ones like this, and home tours around the Denver area. Thanks for joining me today and have a wonderful day.